When you first start using your fourth finger, you may find that it feels like quite a stretch to reach the notes, and there is a tendency for people to tense their hands up because it feels difficult. So I'm going to show you some tips to try and help you relax your hand and reach the note more easily. So the first and most important thing is to keep your hand relaxed. So when you place your hand to the end of the violin, ready to play, be really careful not to grip between your thumb and your first finger. Keep that contact between the hand and the neck as soft and gentle as possible, so that the side of your thumb and the base of your first finger are just resting gently against the neck. So be really careful not to squeeze, because that will immediately tense up your hand and make it very difficult to reach your fourth finger. So that needs to be flexible. That contact between your hand and the violin needs to remain flexible so that you can move your hand in the right way to reach the fourth finger. So that's the very first thing to check. Secondly, it's important to think about opening your hand as you reach the fourth finger. So rather than just thinking of stretching up the little finger and reaching like that so that you have to make a really big space between your third and the fourth finger, think about opening out the space between all your fingers. Think even about reaching back with the first finger rather than reaching forward with the fourth finger, so that we have a much more open hand shape like this. So can you see that I'm opening up the space between all four of my fingers rather than just keeping my hand, the other three fingers at the end, and stretching with my fourth finger. So trying to open out those spaces. So I sometimes imagine that it's like having webbing on a duck's foot or something, and you're opening out the webbing between the fingers like that. So that will help you reach the note, makes a big difference. Now your thumb should always stay at the end of the neck when you play with your fourth finger. Be very careful not to let it slide up the neck like that. The problem with that is that when you then come back to playing with the first finger or second finger, your thumb will be in the wrong place and your fine tuning gets really difficult. So don't let your hand, your thumb or your first finger move up the neck when you play with your fourth finger. Keep them at the end of the neck where you usually play with, where they usually are, and open out your hand. You can, however, bring your wrist a little bit closer to the neck, not squashing it up against the neck, but just bring it in a little bit nearer, and allow your thumb just to lie slightly more flat underneath the neck, like that. And that will help you reach the note by bringing your finger a little bit closer to the string. But be careful not to do that. So keeping that hand open. A thing to watch out for that people seem to do quite often is people push their wrist back as they reach for the fourth finger. And I'm sure you can see that that pulls my finger away from the note that I'm trying to reach, rather than bringing it nearer, so that makes things more difficult. But it's something to watch out for. So a relaxed, open, flexible left hand is the key to reaching your fourth fingers easily.